I'm Tracy with Meet RX. Today we're continuing with our success story podcast, and we have our friend Caroline. Hi, Caroline.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. I would love to start out hearing your story on, like, what was life like before you came to a meat-based carnivore diet?
So before I started carnivore, I was actually keto for 3 years. I started keto because I have PCOS and endometriosis, and I know that that sort of diet helps with the inflammation. And later in life, I would have been at high risk for diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and it's prevalent on both sides of my family. So that's really what led me to keto. And yeah.
Oh, okay. So can you tell me, like, what your diet was before you started the keto diet?
So before I started the keto diet, I was standard American diet. I'm Italian, so pasta every day, rice, things like that, all the time.
All the time? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So can you describe for me, like, how did you, like, you were doing keto, but how did you find out about carnivore? And
so I was doing keto, and there's a lot of talk in the keto community about carnivore because of people like Dr. Baker and people like Dr. Berry. So I had been hearing about it, and I joined the World Carnivore Facebook group where you saw me, and I joined another women's group on there. And I saw that there were a lot of women who struggled with the same things that I did, and they'd either completely reverse them or were just doing so much better. So I thought, I want that too, you know?
Right. I can see that. Yeah. So how did you implement it? What kind of meats did you start out with? And did you have any difficulty?
I started out doing like, hold on. Someone is trying to call me. Did I lose you? Okay.
You're good.
So I started out with like a 3-day bone broth sort of cleanse as a way to transition without getting any adverse effects, because I've heard about people just jumping in and then getting all these gastric things from the transition, you know, with all the fat and high protein. So I did that for about 3 days and then just started eating like steaks every day. I started using ghee because I thought maybe I would have issues with the dairy, and I had no problems sliding right in.
Wow. So no difficulties physically because you came from keto. So
yeah, so it was an easier transition for me from keto.
Right. Okay. All right. And so can you tell me what happened with your PCOS and endometriosis?
So my hormone levels have drastically improved to what they were before I started carnivore. They were getting a little bit better on keto, and then everything kind of just stopped. I started gaining weight again. I don't know if you follow the keto community on Instagram. There's a recipe for everything. All these little keto treats and all the cookies and all of that stuff. I started like having those more and more. And I was struggling with like binge eating because, hey, it's keto. It's okay if I eat this, and it's okay if I eat some more of this. And it wasn't helping me at all towards the end.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. And so how did you deal with not having your pasta that you normally have?
Honestly, the pasta wasn't a big deal because I had gone so long without it, and I wasn't really doing pasta alternatives because nothing really compares to the real thing. So that wasn't a big issue for me.
Oh, okay. So what about family and friends? How do they look at you now since you're doing this carnivore diet? Does it seem odd?
My mom is completely amazed, and my mom actually started keto a couple of months after me because she's been a type 2 diabetic her whole adult life, and she's done amazing. She's no longer on insulin, so she's watching me now, and she's like, wow, you look even better than you did before, health-wise, you know?
Wow.
So, and my husband is very supportive. He is straight off the boat from Sicily, pasta all day, every day. But he doesn't push me to eat what he's eating, so that's good.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah.
And you have children. Are they eating with your husband more, or you more? Or?
My son eats A little bit, like a mix of everything. He'll eat whatever meats I make for myself, but he's not big into sweets. He's not big into pasta or rice, thank God. So yeah, it hasn't been difficult really in feeding him.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell me like what a typical day looks like for you with your meats? What kind of meats do you eat and how many times a day?
So when I first started, I was eating like 2, 3 times a day. I was hungry all the time. But being at this like 6 months, I guess my body became more adapted. So now I'm not really hungry. I eat once a day, and it's either like a big old ribeye with some eggs and some grass-fed butter, and that's it. And I don't really snack anymore.
Wow. Do you eat
Yeah.
any cheese or any seafood or?
I do eat cheese. I've had no issues with dairy. I do eat seafood, shrimp, lobster, any kind of fish. I love it.
Cool. So what kind of drinks do you drink?
Mostly water, black coffee, tea. I can't give up my coffee. I know that's the one thing that like I just cannot. I can't do it.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
That's okay. So how do you compare like keto and carnivore? I mean, if you were telling somebody you should choose this weight lifestyle, would you, like how do you compare the two if they're interested in either one?
I mean, either one is great compared to like the standard American diet. Either one, you're going to feel the differences. But for me, carnivore has been like completely life-changing. I actually sleep through the night now. Before it was a struggle. I would go to bed and I would lay there tossing and turning for hours, and I would have to drag myself out of bed in the morning. My anxiety level was through the roof. My stress level was through the roof. And now, even with all this COVID stuff that's been going on, I feel like I started at the best possible time because my anxiety, everything is completely like, I'm so much more calm and even keeled now that, being a mom, that's important. So
yeah, that is important. Very important.
yeah, you want to be the best mom that you can be to your kids. And so I feel like that has changed.
Yeah. So do you feel like you healed further and got more balanced out with carnivore?
I do. I actually stopped holding on to weight. I lost 15 pounds. And for me, with my PCOS, that's huge. It took me 6 months to do that, but I did that and I maintained it. And I feel like I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in my adult life. So I'm happy with that.
Awesome. Awesome. Do you work out now?
I do actually. In the beginning, I didn't. And then I started doing like 30 minutes of yoga every day. And then I went from that to 90 minutes every day. And now I do 90 minutes of yoga and I do like high intensity interval training and weight training. Awesome. Something I would have never thought I would have been able to do before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who do you talk or who did you kind of follow? Did you mostly watch Dr. Baker or Dr. Berry?
I did. I followed along with his Instagram page, the MeatRx, the Facebook group page, the World Carnivore Tribe, Dr. Berry, Dr. Saladino.
Awesome. Yeah, there are a lot of good guys in this community.
Yeah, they're great and they're so helpful.
Yeah, I agree. Have you read Dr. Baker's book yet?
I have not.
Okay.
I haven't, but I'm going to get on that.
Yeah, I think Dr. Saladino has one out too.
Yes.
Very good. Well, thank you, Caroline, for sharing your story. Is there anything else you'd like to tell someone that's searching for answers to PCOS or endometriosis or any weight loss?
I would tell them to do your research, join the community, make friends with people who are already in there and just start where you are. Give yourself grace because it can be difficult in the beginning, but you'll get there.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me again. It was very nice to talk to you.
Nice speaking to you too.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye.